Hello, in this video I'll be painting another Space Marine as a Salamander, but this time I'll include some improvements you can make from the last video. Here I have the base. Just like last time, I filled the hole for the push-fit peg on the foot of the Mini. Now I'll cut some wire to look like bars for what will be our concrete for our urban rubble base. Here I've connected two pieces of cork with our wire. These two pieces of cork will later be our concrete. Now I glue the cork and the wire together. And now I will glue the cork pieces to the base. I've assembled this Infernus Space Marine off camera, and I will now glue it to the cork pieces on the base. Here's what we'll be using for our concrete on our urban rubble base. This is Vallejo Diorama Effects Gray Sand. I take a stick and I spread this on the cork and the places where the cork doesn't cover. Here it is after the diorama effects have been spread on the base. I've added another piece of cork and another piece of wire off camera. Off camera, I've added some battle damage to the Space Marine's armor with my knife. My camera wouldn't focus, but I added a slash through the Space Marine's right eye. Just like last time, I'll base coat the whole Space Marine with our dark green. Here it is after the base coat. Now I take Vallejo Deep Green and sponge it on with a makeup sponge to add our highlights. I focus on the top areas like the helmet and the back of the power pack. This time I do the same thing, but with Vallejo Deep Green mixed with yellow. This time I go lighter so that the previous highlight can still be seen. Here it is after the sponge highlights. Now I paint the black on the gun and the shoulder pads and anything that will be silver later. Here's the black after it's finished. Now I paint the silver on the gun and the power pack vents. Here it is after the silver. Now I paint this panel on the back of the power pack gold and the Aquila. After this, I paint all the pouches and holsters with brown. Now I paint the flame on the shoulder pad. If you want a more in-depth guide on how to paint this flame, you can watch the short that I've made about it. Off camera, I've painted the orange inside the red and the yellow inside the orange to complete the flame. Now I paint ivory on the purity seal. I take a dark red and I paint the wax seal with it. Off camera, I've also painted the eyes with yellow. If you wanted to, you could paint the base and be done, but there are more ways to improve on this mini. First, I add a burnt umber oil wash to the purity seal. I take that same burnt umber oil wash and shade the gold on the Aquila with it. Once again, using the same burnt umber oil wash, I add this to the gun to give a burnt look. Next, I highlight the little edges of the wax on the purity seal. Now I'm going to do some simple, rough edge highlighting. Next, I paint these spots on the pouches with gold. Next, I highlight the edges of the pouches with a lighter brown. After this, I add a glaze to the pouches. Now I highlight some of the gun with a dark gray. Now I use a black oil wash to shade the battle damage I added. And now it's time to paint the base. First, I paint everything with a dark gray. Next, with a soft brush, I dry brush ivory all over the edges of the concrete. After this, I repaint the bars sticking out of the cork. I hope you enjoyed this video and the ways I showed you that you can improve your miniature. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.